Okay, so in part 4 of Mission Yellowstone, we departed Billings heading towards Salt Lake City. If you haven't seen that video, it's a must-watch. So after a quick stop for coffee and fuel in Skypark, Utah, Carter and I departed VFR towards Boulder City in Nevada. This leg gave us a chance to talk about various aviation topics. We captured great scenery and geotagged prominent landmarks. It's just one of those laid-back, rewarding flights that reminds you why we are pilots. Let's fly.
Downwind, clear base, clear final.
Okay. Skypark traffic November 528 Charlie Mike, taking off runway 35 and we're doing a right downwind departure, leaving the pattern.
Skypark traffic, cruiser
Engine parameters in the green, airspeed's alive.
Thank you.
77, rotate.
Thank you.
The traffic crosswind ahead and to our right in sight.
Thank you.
Yep, clear of the obstacles.
Thank you. Okay, lower the nose, get 90. Okay, there is 90, clear of obstacles, flaps up.
Alright. And we can make a wider downwind over the freeway if you'd like.
Sure.
Since we're not trying to make it back into the airport.
Okay, they're coming down, but fuel flow is not in the green for some reason.
If you go full power, fuel flow will probably go up to the green.
Yeah, but
oh, but it is scaling, yeah.
Yeah.
Just off. Boost is on.
Traffic inside for BCM 549.
Clear track 253, traffic 12 o'clock, 5 miles northwestbound at 7,000, Cessna 172.
mixture, I did lean. Fuel flow parameters, we are good.
3726, all like approach, expect to see the
Good, and CHTs are 366, that's great.
Clear track 253, traffic 1 o'clock and 5 miles, base 10 for the approach is a sport cruise at
116.6. Now if I press enter here, load into nav 1 standby. Okay, now I can flip flop, see if it gets FFU.
Have you seen a place where class golf goes all the way up to
17?
14.5?
No, I haven't.
Me neither. That would be cool, because in golf, during the daytime,
Just 1 mile clear of clouds, right?
well, 1 mile clear clouds below 1,200 feet AGL, and then it's 3 above 1,200 feet. Class golf. Blanking. I think it's 3 clear clouds.
I'm not really sure. As I understand, when I was studying private, I think that exists in Alaska, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think Alaska, and there used to be in New Mexico, but I don't think there's anything in New Mexico anymore. I definitely take for granted how easy everything is. We traveled to Montana and back in 2 days. A journey that would have taken months, 200, 300 years ago,
Sure.
on horses or even by foot.
Right. I mean, I remember when my mom used to communicate with her sisters here, because my mom's sisters came early 70s to Los Angeles, and we stayed in Egypt, and she would like send a letter, and it would take like 45 days to arrive, just because mail in Egypt is not all that efficient. Another 45 days to hear a reply, so imagine that you talk to someone, and you wait 90 days to hear a reply.
Wow.
You know? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, now you don't text someone back in 10 minutes.
What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with you? Where are you at?
Caution, cabin altitude above 12,000 feet.
I've been to Japan 3 times
You have?
with my dad because he races for Yamaha. Yamaha is obviously from Japan. There's the 4 main motorcycle manufacturers for off-road. It's Kawasaki, Suzuki, Honda, and Yamaha, all from Japan. But I love it over there. It's an amazing culture. Really, really different than here.
It is, huh?
Big culture shock.
What is the biggest difference?
The biggest difference, in my opinion, is how every worker, no matter the position, treats their job with a lot of respect.
So we talked already about single engines up to $1 million. Maintenance is not a cost, and Carter said that the SR22 Turbo, and I agreed with that. I would also get the SR22 Turbo, particularly because it'll be like such an easy transition for me. I'm just going to jump and fly. When it comes to the category of single engine turbine or jet, like a Vision jet, versus a twin jet, like the Honda jet, for example, you know, like you'll have higher maintenance costs and other things to factor, and maybe not going so much faster. What's your take on this?
What's the assumption with the financial situation? Unlimited money, or?
So let's say that, you know, you own a business and you allow yourself to put up to $5 to $6 million into an airplane, and you have roughly around $800,000 a year to cover all the costs.
I don't know what the costs associated with the Honda Jet are, but if that covers the Honda Jet, I would definitely go with Honda Jet over Cirrus Jet.
Okay.
2 engines over 1 engine.
Okay.
Because the Honda Jet is still 3555. That would be still a capable aircraft on 1 engine.
It would be.
Unlike light piston engine twins, where a lot of the time operating on a single engine is less than sufficient to climb above terrain.
Okay.
So yeah, I would definitely go Honda Jet.
So I'm sure having the engines so close to each other really is a great selling point, that if your engine fails, it's not so much trouble with the adverse yaw.
On the Honda Jet?
On the Honda Jet, right? But on the Honda Jet, I think it's the only business jet that has the engines mounted on the wing, as opposed to...
And on the top of the wing, too, yeah.
And on the top of the wing.
Yeah.
And some people I've heard that goes, you know what, I mean, there might be some benefit to it, I just don't like the shape of that. What do you think about that?
I don't think it's too easy on the eyes, personally. But I've heard that the reason for that, or one of the reasons for that, a benefit, that it makes the cabin vibrations a little less and quieter inside as well.
Yes, I've heard that as well.
Which I think that is a great idea.
Okay.
Also, you know, having an engine fire is always going to be a problem.
Sure.
I'm not sure how accurate this is, but I would imagine that maybe having an engine fire with an engine that's not attached to the fuselage could be better than having an engine fire with an engine attached to the fuselage. But either way, those engines have bottles where you can extinguish the fire pretty quickly.
That's true. And it's amazing that Honda, not particularly a company that's known for their aerospace work, puts out such a great airplane like the Honda Jet.
That is impressive, but Honda is known for very high-level manufacturing.
That's true.
They produce high-level race machines as well. They compete in Formula One.
They do.
They compete in MotoGP. They compete in motocross, off-road racing. They compete in almost every discipline of something that has an engine. They're part of it. So yeah, it's not a huge surprise that they were able to succeed, but it is very impressive that a company without very much aerospace history. Very impressive.
I think now, I could be mistaken, I'm going to double check this and maybe update the viewers on the next flight, but I watched a documentary about the Honda Jet, and I think it's a project that they were trying to put together As I understand, the certification costs were a bit too high, so they put it on the shelf. And then a few years later, they said, you know what, this is the right time, let's go for it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I know, I've heard that they had it in their minds for a long time.
They did, yeah.
I didn't hear anything about the certification process.
Yeah. But I know that there are companies that try to, you know, certify airplanes, but the cost of certification is enormous. And case in point is the Lancer. If you remember the Lancer, it was...
Yeah, I know the Lancer.
Yeah. And then eventually they went into bankruptcy, and then Cessna bought them. And they renamed the Columbia 400 to the Cessna TTX, I think.
Yeah, the TTX, correct.
Yeah. And then they pulled the plug on that entire project, even though it was a beautiful airplane, very close to the Cirrus. Didn't have the parachute, but certainly the SR-22 was outselling them by quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think just more consumer friendly. The SR-22
Yeah.
seems a little more consumer friendly with the parachute. And I think I've never been in one of those planes, but I think it's a little bit more spacious and comfortable in the Cirrus than in the Lancer.
Yeah, I've never been in one, but it's very well possible. How do I phrase this? I'm sure you see those a lot in you know, various outlets for pilot communications. A lot of people have the idea that, well, when I was a pilot, flying was hard and it should stay hard. So, like for example, this airplane doesn't have a propeller control, right? And this is one of the things that I worked at Cirrus, is the linkage between...
Oh, really? You worked on the linkage in there?
Correct. So there is a bearing, and then as the throttle moves, it moves the bearing, which moves the propeller cable forward. So there is literally a propeller cable.
Yes, that's correct.
And this is what's controlled.
But during the time that during most of the throttle movement, that cable is set for the governor at 2,500 RPM.
Well, yeah, I mean, it gives you 75, so when you're at 75% power, or a little bit higher,
and then it moves into a flatter,
more cruise thing, and full power, obviously, it will give you maximum performance. At idle, you know, it's going to retard back the angle. But it's one of the things that Cirrus thought that, you know, this will be one less thing that the pilot needs to do. Same thing, I mean, I am sure they can, you know, come up with a design that has retractable landing gear, just like the DA-52 does. And I'm with Cirrus on this. It's a single engine. It's not expected to have retractable landing gear. It improves safety, better insurance. A lot of the pilots that don't have parachute and they still fly steam gauges, VORs, retractable landing gears, and once they see an airplane like Cirrus with a glass cockpit with the parachute, then they resent it, you know. And
I could kind of be that pilot sometimes when I'm flying, when I'm bearing a plane with steam gauges, no GPS, no autopilot, and everything, and I see a Cirrus fly by, I definitely have a little bit of resentment towards that guy in a Cirrus.
And if you guys like these videos, do you think it's a good idea they subscribe to the channel?
I think that's a great idea.
Delta Papa Romeo, American 136.
I'm subscribed with all 8 of my YouTube accounts. If you could fly in one other country, a foreign country, what country would you want to fly in yourself?
For like sightseeing?
Yeah, sightseeing in an SR-22.
Oh wow, maybe Sweden or Norway. Yeah, these countries are beautiful. The mountains, the waters.
I couldn't even imagine flying through one of those archipelagos off the west coast.
LA Center, good afternoon. Pull out a 691 Delta Kilo, flight level 240.8, descending.
So you're a propulsion engineer for Cirrus? That was your title? Job description?
Yes.
Is that what you studied? Is that what you went to school for?
Well, I studied aeronautical engineering at Embry-Riddle in Daytona Beach. So, and then you specialize once you get your job, like, you know, aerodynamics, propulsion, structures.
Okay, cool. Did you like Embry-Riddle?
I did, yeah, I did.
You didn't fly at all while you were there?
No, I didn't.
Get direct to Grand Canyon.
Did you have a lot of friends that were flying, or did you mostly just have engineering friends?
No, I just had engineering friends, like very antisocial, awkward people.
What jobs did you have while you were in school?
Burger King, Baskin Robbins. The longest one for me was Cracker Barrel, if you ever heard of them.
Yeah, I went to Cracker Barrel for the first time 3 weeks ago.
These cannulas are extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, I want to rip them out.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
I mean, I'm okay if you want to descend
We can go down 12.5.
Okay. 53 Charlie Mike, would like to descend to 12.5, please.
53 Charlie Mike, Roger, VFR altitude at your discretion.
Thank you, Charlie Mike.
Las Vegas approach, good afternoon, Cirrus 528 Charlie Mike, 12,370.
528 Charlie Mike, Las Vegas approach, up for 2981.
81, 8 Charlie.
That was 351, contact approach, 119.4.
Alright, 81 set.
Thank you, Southwest 351.
And if we come in over the lake anyway, we'd have to be... 7,000 and then 6,000.
That was 3544, left direct Stella, cross Stella, 8,500, and then descend.
Alright, direct Stella, cross Stella, 8,500, and descend V after that, Southwest 3544.
November 8 Charlie Mike, contact approach 133.95 with the request.
133.95, 528 Charlie Mike. Las Vegas, good afternoon, November 528 Charlie Mike, level 8,500 with an approach request.
November 528 Charlie Mike, Las Vegas approach, what's the request?
With requesting the RNAV GPS runway 27, circle to land runway 15. Would the procedure turn at JCOC, please?
And then,
500. Approaching runway 0927.